This is Short Hammer. It is the 18th of April, 2021. And this is Trading Zones. Market all-time highs. Things are just ripping and running and follow the trend. So if we're looking at the MES, we did close at all-time highs, right? And so what do you do with that? Well, if you missed this little pullback here and you waited for the break here, made the new high, didn't break back down, excuse me, wait for a pullback. If you're going to try to jump in and chase this, um, you have to be careful because there could be a pullback, but you never know what that pullback may be. It could be, 15, 20 points, or it could be, 50 points. So be careful with this. Watch your levels, watch your main tickers. Remember, this is earnings season, right? So there's definitely a lot of news that's circulating that could be pumping the market up, and you may have a day of pretty bad earnings that may cause the market to dip sharply, right? So just be careful and sort of the things that you're trading, and watch for those headline risks that could come in just based on earnings for a particular sector. So the lines that we have drawn here are right around this 41, 42 ish. Yeah, 41, 42 ish. And this here is 41.65, 41.18, 40.91. Then we have the 40.74, 40.56. Keep an eye on those levels. Those levels that we like. Could we go higher? Yes. Pardon me. But because I'm a retracement trader, for me, I would wait for a pullback into a level, and then I would be looking at the lower time frame and watching for a reversal. Meanwhile, watching my oscillators for an entry to sort of either dip by and ride it back up, or for a break below a specific level and then bearish extension below that, then I'll be short into the next level, right? Scaling out as we go. So market's in an interesting place, um, but don't chase. There is no benefit to chasing. Even if you're right, it's better to wait for a setup that you can either buy off of structure or short off of structure. Let's keep it moving. Head on over to the RTY. So whereas over on the MES and the ES, right? S&P, we've got all-time highs. We've got the RTY kind of going sideways, right? And isn't this interesting? So that means that a lot of the small caps and a lot of banks here, right? They're they're not getting that love that they were getting previously, right? On this whole run up here from March all the way to beginning of March to mid March. Look at that, right? And look at this, February. Look at that run. So um, you have to be careful. And so the level that we have below this. So if we look at this, right, this is the 14th. So we see this little area here from the 7th of April down to about the 14th of April, right? Where we're kind of bouncing around, made a little bit lower lows here, went right back up into this little consolidation between the 22.11s and right below the 22.47. So 22.40s by 22.11s. Here we try to push above, we pull back into that area, and above the 22.30s, 34 to be specific, it's as if we're trying to buy up, but there's a disagreement between the sellers and the buyers because we can't get advancement to the upside and neither can we get declined to the downside, right? So for me, what I'll be watching for is if we stay above the 2234, right? We need something to get us up and above these 2270s and get a squeeze into the 2290s. If we don't get that and we dip back down here, watch for a dip below the 2230s to open up the 2211s, right? That would be nice. So that's sort of what I'm watching for here on the RTY. Watch for those credit union and small bank earnings. Not sure if those specific things have come out yet, but that's something to keep an eye on to see if that impacts the Russ up or down there. So that could be interesting. So MNNQ and just I'll remove this. Don't want to cause any type of confusion. There's different things that I use. Okay, so bullish, um, nice pullback, buy back up. We have to see how this shakes out. For me, I prefer the Qs over the S&P. I just like the range, and just how technically sound the Qs are. And for me, I'm able to watch specific tickers that are heavily weighted in the Qs to be able to find good entries and exits, along with the different points of contention that you see on the chart. So if I'm looking at this, right, going into Sunday at 6, what I want is a pullback into this 13 13959. Um that is what I would like to see, and then for the buyers to step in and for us to make new all-time highs. That would be a great dip buy. If we sell below that, that does definitely open up the 13872s, and the line below that is the 1376250s. This trend line, we have to see what happens when we interact with that. It'd be great if we hit that on a pullback and then the buyers step in at one of these supply demand levels that also um, intersects with this trend line. That would be nice. But you know, tech is pushing up, and we've mentioned the last few weeks that tech has kind of been meandering. Tech has been weak. Tech is not weak right now. A lot of tech stocks are really pushing and really helping to bring this market up. But watch these specific levels that we mentioned on the M&Q if you're planning to jump in. Um, Amazon being Amazon. So above these 3220s, look at that. Just look at this area here, right? How we sort of played around a little bit. Then there had to be a definitive move out of this channel, and we got that, right? Look at that push up. That's awesome. So what we want to watch for now is, do we get progress above the 3430s? And let's scroll back, tighten this up, see what we've got going on here. Okie dokie. All right. So above the 3430s, it gets a little bit funky, even though here, back in September of 2020, we saw a little bit of bullish action here, making higher highs on the 4 hour. We ended up selling back through on that, right? And so here, a push up above the 3430s, we ended up topping out and selling back down through that. A push up here, ended up topping out and selling back down. Um, Nice drops here, 100 point plus drops. And here again, and look, each one of these pullbacks, look what it led to. lower lows, right? Look at this, lower lows. Um, this is more of like a little flare up. Didn't quite get there, but lower lows, and this could all be coincidence. So as I'm watching this, um, I want to see how it plays out. So a push up into through the 3430s. I'll be watching for a probably a short swing play, right? But I'll wait for the triggers to let me know that that's the play to take. But definitely watching Amazon above the 3430. The air does seem to get a little bit thin. Keep your eye on that. Um, but it's been strong move above the channel. Gotta love it. But watch those levels to see if we get sort of what we're thinking may happen here. So just watching for that. We'll see how that plays out. But to the downside, let me give you these lines: 3386, 3370, 3344. Below that, 3268. Above that, 3433, 3450, 3458. We'll see how this thing plays out. Um, whether it's we pull back and buyers step in at this one of the upper levels, or if we get some sell side, we'll see. But market seems to be a little bit just a little bit bullish. Netflix at the same area. What did we mention? We need extension above the 550s, bullish continuation. If not, we've got buckets. And so look back here. I'm not going to repeat it. You can watch, a few of the old videos where we discuss Netflix and the setup here and the structure here and what we're looking for. But here we want an extension above the 550s to show strength and for the 600s to open up. If we don't get that, then we're still in some sort of a channel. It's like a wonky channel that we can sell all the way back down. Honestly, through the 500s, we have to wait and see. It's Netflix is all about the news, and with earnings coming, it's going to be really, really interesting. So I'm actually really interested in Netflix earnings, just because they traffic in eyeballs, right? And it's hard to imagine that the numbers that they hit at the height of the pandemic, for all states, right? At that point, that that many people will be home again watching Netflix. It's possible. So I'm guessing they'd have to build that out by offering either just premium type. I won't get into it. No, I'm not gonna get into it. So so let's watch and see if we can get bullish extension above the 550s. If not, then we're going back down. Not gonna get into anything else. I have to jet pretty soon. So okay, so here, look at the top here at 627, and then the pullback and consolidation here at 635. There are two things you want to see. Let me show it to you real quick. Doing this as we speak, right? Here, and you want here. All right, look at this little consolidation here. All right. So this is what you're looking for. And so this is exactly how I would play this, to be honest. All right. If we hold the 636s, then we're long for a break of the 647s. If we drop the 636s, then we're keeping our eye here at the 628s for the buyers to step in. If the buyers don't step in there, then we're going to watch this hitch, this area all through here to see if they choose to step in there, if people don't step in earlier. So that's what I'm watching for in NVIDIA. Really good chip news. Um, just look at that move, just nuts. So I'll be keeping an eye on it this upcoming week. Just sometimes you just have to follow the trend, right? There's really not a ton of technical setup logic behind this entire move, but doesn't matter. Follow the trend and the momentum. When something is going and you think there's a good chance it may continue to go, then you definitely want to be on the right side of that trend. Microsoft, same. It's almost like the same chart, right? Just going, going, going. And I'll pop some lines on here later. But what I will be watching for on Microsoft is, do we hold these 260s? If not, do we see a retracement into the 250s? And then the buyers will probably step in. We have to wait to see. I have to check to see when the let's see, when our earnings. You don't even need that. Just need this side. Okay, so so I have 2 months or so, maybe a little bit more. So Microsoft has a good narrative coming out of last earnings. They did really well in all of their different departments. So I'm pretty sure people are, very excited about this ticker. That any pullback they would want to sort of jump in and ride this up. But where we are now, watch this structure. If this breaks down through the 259.80s, 259.50s is safer. Then the 255.50s is possible. Same thing here. A few different hitches in this parabolic movement, but we'll see if this continues to go. For me, I will be watching on Monday and playing the cues. So this isn't not something I'm gonna be. I plan to be chasing. Apple, same. The difference with Apple, look at these lines: 134.20s, 131.75s, 127.45s to the upside, 137s. It's consolidating. We'll see if we get that squeeze and that pop Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to push into the 137s. The main thing you want to figure out is the direction and the trend. Don't try to guess or figure out anything else. So this is definitely interesting. We'll see if this continues to the upside or if we sell. But Apple's really been a beast. And we did mention that what we wanted to think about was, right, all these vaccines. And as though some parts of the world are still struggling, here in the US, people seem to tend to be a little bit more open. So don't be surprised if people are, going back to Apple stores and you start to see, because I believe one of their main money makers was accessories, right? And that's really more a feelings thing and less of a logic thing. So when their earnings come out, will people have purchased more accessories? So that's something to watch for on Apple, because if the news is that they're great on the with all their tech stuff, their phone stuff, right? And they they have raised a raised demand because people have not been able to go out to the stores to touch, to feel, and you start to open these stores back up. There definitely may be a driver there that they could probably project, um, that says that this stock should be higher right now, not necessarily higher in the future, but higher right now, as people get back out into the economy and they're going to the actual physical Apple store. But we'll see, right? We don't chase the narratives; we just play our levels. Facebook. We want to see a hold over the 307s. If not, then back to the 303s. We'll see if this will curl down and drop into the 297s. That's what I'll be watching for on Facebook. Um, it's interesting. Yes, not a lot else to say on Facebook. You can see the chart patterns. They're clear here to see the levels to watch for. Okay. CMG. above the 468s, 1510s, rise to the 548s. We'll see, but this is probably going to continue because they did really good during the pandemic. As far as what I know, my purchases, they did really good. Um, but what you want to watch for is a break of 1548 and bullish candlestick patterns above. Personally, I would not be longing something that seems to be at the highs, at least on an intraday cyclical level, right? So look at that. We'll see, but we need bullish above 548, or we're coming down right around this plateau, potentially the 1460s. So we'll see. Non-stop McDonald's going, I understand. A pullback into 226 and they provide an opportunity for us. I'll be watching and waiting. For those already in, just be careful. But I like the 226 is better than I like the 231s on McDonald's. Head right on over to Tesla. What we mentioned on Tesla was it has to break these 713s, which it did, right? These are lines that we've had previously, right? Almost to the Sophie level. Actually, I think it did touch the Sophie level, the 500s. Man, nice rise here. You see how we cut through the 651s, ran to the 713s, pulled back, and went right through. Um, just to set a point, I guess, but nice move here. Once we got above 713s, 780s were definitely in reach. Like this pullback here, we have to see if the buyers step in above the 713s and push us a new all-time high. But may not. But we have to watch to see what happens, though. And so the levels above the 713s, next up is 780, 439. Then above that is 819. Above that is 857.46. To the downside, the 713s, of course, 651s and 616s. JPM, just taking a quick peek at it. From where it's going now, it looks like we should get a rise into the 154.70 by 156.78, then potentially a retrace. Not something I usually I'd say go through, just because I like things that have range for a week or 2 weeks where you can see the range and the waves and the movement of it. And this is more like you know, it's kind of tight, but we'll see. Look at that technical bounce here, right off this level, this 149.36 ish. So what you want to see if you're bullish is you want to see bullish extension above this 156 area. You want to squeeze, and on the bear side, let's see if you want to be a bear. Yeah, it has to break this 149.30s. Right? And so we may be headed into the 154.70s on this rise. We have to see. Goldman Sachs, just like the Rust, trying to get back to all-time highs. We have our levels. Feel free to pause and get these levels that we have drawn. They've been working pretty good out of the consolidation. 330s. Hold on, yes, 337. Then 344. We have to see if we're able to go higher here. This is like a candle that wants to go higher. But just be careful with Goldman Sachs. I do prefer Goldman Sachs as a financial ticker to trade, just because it's so rangy and you definitely get some movement in it. So definitely like it, but I don't like it up here. I prefer it to be down here somewhere. We'll see how that plays out. SPY going nuts. I don't have any lines here. I'll try to take the time to draw some in, but I'm not really watching the SPY too much during the intraday. But it's been going. The best trade is when something pulls back and you can still jump in and ride it. Right now, just if I was just to come in and sort of look to jump into the S&P, the advice I give you, just be careful, right? You don't need to bet a lot to make a lot. But we'll see. If you like this video, please don't hesitate to tap that like button. And if you'd like to receive more content like this, not just content from me, but content from Melissa as she goes through how she utilizes her power of pivot strategy to find great entries and great exits. Um, please subscribe to our channel, Power of Pivots, and you can look forward to getting videos from Melissa. Thank you so much for your time. Stay safe and see you next week.